Hey, what's up, guys? And welcome to Stories from Africa podcast. And today we are at the Organic Farmers Market in Karen. The first time we came here was, when was the date? I'd say it was last week, but last
weekend. Today is 21st.
Yeah, so when was that? When was the first time that we...
I'm bad at maths. It's 21st minus 7.
Yeah, so we were here on 14th. So a friend of ours told us about this space where you find Kenyan farmers bringing organic stuff. And, we decided, let's visit this space. And we decided, let's do a podcast in this space. So hopefully we're going to call this the Organic Farmers Podcast. With me today is Mwas Githinji. Mwas Githinji is a talented artist. He is a singer. He is a comedian. And he's just this African who's trying to make a change in the world. Welcome, Mwas Githinji.
Thank you very much.
So maybe you tell us, how did you find out about this space that we're in right now?
I actually came, I was invited by a friend who was invited. So
that happens a lot in parties, you know?
Yeah. So I didn't know. But I felt like I would not fit in, but it ended up being one of the best experiences. So
you know, the first time a friend of ours called Lillian, who does voiceovers but also does bakes cakes, came to the studio to do voiceovers and was like, I'll be going to this space where we sell organic stuff, and I got interested. So she showed me the Facebook page. And in that page, I noticed that there was an exhibition going on in the same space. And because we are really, really into art, we decided hey, let's check this space out. And that is how I told Mwas Githinji about this space. And we ended up in this space. So maybe, Mwas, just tell us about your first experience with this space and the kind of art that you found in this space.
First of all, when we entered the space, I realized there was different, everyone had different commodities, and it's like an open market where you can possibly get food. I love how they do their food, their jewels. There is I got to have an oyster, if that is what they call them. And
if you ever visit the Organic Farmers Market in Karen, please visit the oyster stand. I think we found one of the most interesting individuals in this space. They were very welcoming, they were very jolly, very, very happy people. And they would entice you to take the oyster because it has apparently aphrodisiac properties.
Yeah.
and the funny thing is, they tell you if you take one oyster, it's gonna last you 2 weeks.
Yeah,
so you're gonna have 2 weeks of manpower.
they made me have. I don't know whether you can use that. Is it placebo effect? What do you call it?
It is placebo effect.
Placebo effect. I thought after taking it, I started feeling change immediately. But I think it's my head.
Started feeling like Superman.
Yeah, and could feel muscles coming out.
But now we actually decided it was 3 of us. Our engineer called Eric Mbudia, who is on the systems. So we decided to sacrifice Mwas Githinji. So he tasted the oyster. Maybe tell us about what does it taste like? What does it feel like? Is the myth really true that it has aphrodisiac properties?
No, to be honest, this guy advised me to place it in the middle of my mouth. I don't know. But I swallowed it whole. The first place it touched was my trachea. No, not trachea. You don't take food through trachea. That's dumb. But I think esophagus, is that what you call it?
Hold on. I thought that you're going to feel the flavors.
I threw it inside my mouth. No, I couldn't chew that
You didn't put it in your mouth and see
No.
the way you're told you should taste wine, you smell it.
They messed up and they told me it's alive, and actually after opening it up, it immediately dies, and I was like, oh my god, I can see this fish dying. I'm not going to take that.
Are you sure the thing died? Because first of all, the thing
It was
looked like
alive.
a snail.
It did Michael Jackson moves inside my stomach, so that thing was alive. I don't trust those guys.
So now the question is, did it really have the superpowers they were claiming it had?
No.
No effect.
I think I was supposed to take 2. That was an underdose.
I think we should. This is the second time we're in this market, and I think he should go revisit the same market. And this time we get him to take 3. Then hopefully next time he will tell us more about if whether he got the Superman, manpower.
These guys were joking. I think I need to take like 5 of those and see what happens.
But this time, kindly, would you just feel it in your mouth? Like, we want to understand.
Yeah, I'll chew. I'll try
flavor.
to chew. At least if they put some lemon on it, I'll try to chew it.
So that is one of the interesting places that we went to, and these guys apparently they had this Swahili that sounded like they're from the coast. So
And oh yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
Sure. Another thing that I liked is their beer.
Oh yes,
we had this beer from, I don't know, this guy.
Opa.
Yeah, Opa. This guy, and it was a nice. I think I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, please, if you visit the space in Karen, the Organic Farmers Market in Karen, try out the Opa stand. They have some very interesting craft beer that doesn't really taste like beer.
What I know,
Yeah.
I felt the effect because there was an exhibition going on apparently, and I happened to meet all these great artists. Very key artists were being exhibited in the space, and the exhibition is still running right now. I happened to meet Chelenge, one of the best artists we have in the country.
So maybe on that front, I would just want us maybe to talk a little bit about when you first came into this space and you went and you could see and you could tell whose art was being what is it called? Showcased. So you could tell whose art was being showcased. Maybe you tell us, when was your first encounter with these names that you found being showcased in this space?
It's every artist. I met them differently, or I just heard about them differently. Some of them we met way after I started my career, But some of these artists, actually, some of them I've never met, but I know them. I've seen their work on spaces.
There's something that I noticed when you set eyes on this work. First of all, you could just point them out, and then there was a certain glow that came on you. Like it appeared to me like these are people whom you respect.
Yes.
Maybe tell us more about that.
It's because I've seen, coming up, I've seen these people and I've seen their work. It's very different and, it's unique. You don't miss that. If you see, for instance, if you see Maina Boniface painting, you'll definitely know this is Maina Boniface. If you see a Musioka, you'll definitely know it's a Musioka. If you see, all these Chelenge, you won't miss. If you see Sebawali, it's just their style and their artists who are doing it great in the country. Because I can see from the galleries, from, all these spaces, they are doing really nice.
But now, something else that I would also want to bring up is the fact that, you see, maybe those in the art world know these people. But someone like me who really is an observer from outside, I am not really deep into the art world. My understanding of art is because of my association with you. Why is there very little that is known about Kenyan art and the artists themselves?
I think it's generally how people think art is Kenya. I feel like art is not covered that much. Music and other forms of art are mostly highlighted, I think. Art is a bit laid back. And artists only deal with people who are buying their art individually. They don't really get that hype and being celebrated, to a point of people knowing them.
But the question that I think I have in my mind is, why is there no conversation about Kenyan art? You see, I listen to the Western art, and there's a lot of conversation going. Like, the artists in the West are celebrated, literally. And for an artist to be celebrated, it means you have to go to the West for you to be celebrated. A good example is Wangeshi Motu.
Yeah, Wangeshi Motu is one of.
But I believe that there are other artists in this space, even that are depicted in this space, that are being showcased right now, that there needs to be a narrative around them. Why is that the case?
They're actually the artists who are doing really well out there, Everyone knows all these artists out there. But apparently Kenyans don't really know these artists. And if they met them in the street, you'll pass them by and you won't recognize them. And it's sad because I feel like it's part of our nation that is, I wouldn't say dying, but being forgotten. You know, it's part of our country that we are trying to hide it under the carpet and not talk about it. But I feel like these are people who are supposed to be celebrated and celebrated on a national level. Like,
Because you see, one thing that I know Africa is well known about is art. It's our art form, our culture. We are not we are not superpowers. We don't have atomic weapons, but there's something that we really need to treasure, because this is something that we have in vastness, our resources, our stories, our art, our culture. But then when you realize that there are no narratives around these things, then it means that we've been colonized by the West to think that the conversation needs to be around Gucci or some of these brands, and the conversation, especially in Africa, is always around power. It's like we're actually forgetting ourselves. I don't know what you have to say about that.
I feel like, first of all, I'm not trying to, I don't want to point fingers, but I'm saying the government has to like create spaces where they can purchase, and collect these major artists and have these museums, and they can organize schools maybe should visit these places and learn more about these artists and actually get to see who these people really are. If I went to France or maybe Europe, I don't know, like I'd get a Van Gogh museum. There's a whole museum of Van Gogh paintings, and it's a great deal for the country. They actually say there's a country that raises almost half of their money is from museums. So
wow.
So it's a thing that should be, and I think government should come, in handy to make this work.
And the question that I think I have now is, why is it that the Western governments seem to know something that we don't? Why do they treasure their history so much and their art so much, to the extent that they're willing to come into our spaces and steal our art if that is what it takes? Why is it that they have that mindset and our governments don't seem to have that kind of mindset?
You see, I feel like we don't like documenting stuff. First, we don't like, we feel like this moment is just, you only take this moment and forget this moment might be a history, If you don't document that, it's gone.
Like what you're doing right now.
Yeah, you document that, and it's after a few years you look back and see, oh, this was actually a nice thing. And I feel like we just don't document stuff, and these white people know how to do it. That's the only thing that differentiate our country and their countries.
Their countries.
Yeah.
So just for the sake of documentation, today is the Saturday. Today is 21st of August, Saturday, 2021. That's the day that we are recording this. It's 15:42 right here at the Organic Farmers Market. But there's also something very interesting about this market. It's not just a market, but it's also a place where stray dogs are kept.
Yeah.
Stray animals, let me say stray animals, stray pet animals.
Yes.
And this market is actually here to support the upkeep of this space and the animals. So it's not just a market.
Yeah.
There is something good that there's a good energy that is around it, where the money also that comes from part of the sales goes into sustaining the space.
The space, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Maybe, what do you know about this space? And what is the name?
KSPCA. KSPCA.
I'm sure we'll get someone to come and talk to us more about this. So we're just going to continue talking about our experience with this space. So maybe just take us through some of the artists that you saw being showcased when you came and how that felt for you.
First of all, I didn't expect to have such a thing around, But when I saw a space and I was like, oh, let me go check the names. And I'm like, oh, I know this, I know this, I know that, I know this, I know that. Like I just felt like it's actually a big deal. And it's a market where you can meet very potential people, You can connect, you can get to talk about a lot of things. You can buy everything you feel like. You can buy organic food. You can buy booze. I can't forget that. You can buy food. Like, they have different tastes, What else did I see? there are guys who are selling very nice jewels, products,
African,
beauty
actually.
products,
African jewels.
yeah. You get all of this stuff, you know, and as I can see today, the market was actually bigger than it was last time.
Yeah, today there's a little bit more people in this space. I just want to mention something that happened before the end of that day. We made some two connections that to me sound very interesting, because in this space we met a lady by the name Erica. And for if you don't know Erica, Erica is the CEO of Akire, the Akire brand. And she does amazing bags. In fact, we have a podcast with her after we met and had a connection from this space. We've done a podcast with her. Kindly make sure you find it and listen to it. She's an amazing woman who has traveled the world and has come back to Africa and has this luxury brand of bags that is equal to the best that you know of that is in the West. Kindly make sure that you catch that podcast. You also had an interaction with Erica.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about her?
Erica is one of the coolest people I've ever met, by the way, and she's a curator. She's a, I don't know, do you call them fashionista? She's into fashion and stuff.
Yeah. Her fashion is out of this world.
And she is, I think she's just artsy. You know, she has a space whereby she has paintings, she has sculptures, she has bags, she has clothes. It's a whole type of vibe that
I would say it's an experience. For you to understand Erica, you need to experience what she is doing. You need to experience the kind of luxury that she's bringing into the world. And the most amazing thing is, for me, I find that the organic farmers market in Karen is not just a place to come and buy stuff. Don't just come and buy and leave. Network, meet someone, know someone, exchange contacts. It's a place for networking, because even for us, we were looking at it as a space for networks, in as much as, yes, we come and support what is here, but at least network with someone when you come to this space.
Yeah, sure. Pretty much.
So as we try to wind up this session, maybe just tell us, were there anything that you thought was not pleasing the first time you came into this space?
Take that again, please.
Was there anything that you found not pleasing to you when you first came into this space?
Personally, I don't feel like there was... The only thing I feel like people are kind of, I don't know, when they don't get to like... I don't know, that's what I think. People don't like get to understand the people they are buying the products from, and maybe how...
So you're saying hopefully there is need for more interaction,
Yes.
understanding the person you're buying things from,
Yes. And
other
the
than
products,
just coming to buy?
Yeah, true.
So maybe we
And
just
follow
say,
up and stuff
make it a sort of a family where get to know the person you're buying things from. Don't just come and buy and leave. You know, network. Know this person's name. You know, be able to refer to them by name. That would be an amazing thing. We want to big up Lillian, who introduced us to this space. And there's an amazing individual who's given us this space. And actually, we're having this space for free to do our podcasts in. He goes by the name Dennis. We are hoping that we'll be able to get him to come and we have a podcast with him where he explains to us an in-depth about this space and what it's about. So any final thoughts, Moaz?
I think everyone out there should come visit this space, by the way, at all means. Just get some time and just visit the space and see what's going on. Maybe you can end up becoming part of it. You never know. Yeah, and I feel like it's the best experience ever.
Awesome. So from Lawrence here and Moaz Kithenji, until next time, this has been Stories from Africa. Cheers.